Hello and welcome to Blythe Business News. Today we're joined by an old friend, Andy Warne, who's Managing Director of National Milk Records. National Milk Records listed in London on the Aquis exchange with a ticker of NMRP. Andy, welcome back on the programme. Good to have you. You're joining us, having just announced some very strong fourth quarter trading results. Talk us through the results, pick up the highlights, because I really mean the highlights, because essentially you've got growth in all the areas. So what are the key points?
It's from an investor's point of view, or from the executive trying to run a business point of view. It's always been difficult looking at this year-on-year comparison and this quarter-on-quarter comparison, because you're looking back into the last periods when there's either been lockdown or not lockdown or whatever. So this is the first sort of quarter when you're starting to see that noise of the previous quarter disappear. So you're starting to see some real numbers, and the comparators that you're looking at is a proper comparative. So yes, so we're seeing growth in all of our areas, which is obviously good to see. I mean, the message from me is there's more to come. We've had a strategic plan in place for the last couple of years, which has obviously been affected by the different sort of stages of COVID lockdown or whatever. But we're starting to see the tactics within that strategic plan coming through. So we're getting good growth in genomics, which is our new technology, and that's a core framework, if you like, in terms of what we're doing in the next 2 or 3 years. But our old friends like Yoni's testing and milk recording and payment testing, just incrementally, they're all increasing. And the message from me is yes, that's very nice, but there's more to come.
I want to pick you up on genomics there, because I think you've mentioned in the announcement you've got significant growth in genomics. Can you just, in words that I could understand, explain for the viewers what genomics is, what it does, how it helps farmers, and how National Milk Records is involved?
Absolutely. So in very simple terms, then NMR measures the performance of animals, so dairy cows. And we understand what a good cow's performance is, and we understand what a bad cow's performance is. So with genomics, what we do is we go and take a sample of DNA from all the good cows, take a sample of DNA from all the bad cows, and then we can produce what's called a genomic key, which allows us to relate the DNA of an animal to its performance, which is great. We know that's very interesting, but that means that you can go to a newborn calf, you can take a DNA sample from that newborn calf, and effectively you can tell the farmer whether that's going to be a good cow or it's going to be a bad cow as that cow goes forward. So what does the farmer do with that information? The key thing is that once he knows that the calf is going to be a good calf, it enables the farmer to then, as that animal starts to mature, he can breed replacement animals from that in the first 2 generations. Because normally you don't know you've got a good cow until she's started to produce milk. And in order to start to produce milk, you've got to have a calf. And so farmers have been breeding, if you like, blind in the first 2 generations of breeding. Whereas now they can select the better cows to breed their replacements, which means that the rate of genetic gain in the herd will improve. And that's what genomics is. It's this idea of precision agriculture. It's allowing the farmers to take more informed breeding decisions.
Okay, thank you for that. I think I did understand that. That was good. Now, you've also got a partnership with Genus. So first of all, give us a quick update on how that's working out.
So our relationship with Genus is good. We are friends in the marketplace, very much a business-to-business complementary relationship. So Genus, they're a breeding company. What they're doing is they're providing the best genetics to the farmers in order to allow the farmer to breed better cows. And obviously that's very complementary with NMR and our genomics service, because we're allowing the farmer to see the better animals, which allows then the farmer to go out and buy, if you like, the best genetics from Genus. So very complementary in that fact. And that complementary relationship has then been cemented because Genus are selling this product called Gene Advantage, which is actually a bundle of the best semen from Genus and genomics testing from NMR. So we've got this bundled product which is being sold by Genus called Gene Advantage, and we're the supplier of the genomics testing within that bundle. So our relationship with Genus is really good, simply because we've got that complementary different skills that we're providing value to the farmer.
So yeah, okay. So you're coming together and you're helping farmers actually breed and develop cows with a greater yield. Okay, excellent. Now, those of us who know National Milk Records know your heritage is very much within the UK. But there's been talk, you've mentioned that you may be rolling the service out into North America, into the USA. How's that coming along?
So yes, the purchase of the Genus cells license for the US is an adventure for NMR. Absolutely. I mean, you're used to NMR talking about the UK dairy industry, and the Genus cells technology is if you're almost like the next step in terms of genomics. And so we're building a Genus cell service here in the UK, which will go live in the first calendar quarter of 2023. And that's a technology that we've licensed from France, where it's already in commercial use. There's already 1,000 French farmers using it, so we know that it works. We're building the infrastructure to launch that in the UK in the first part of 2023, and we've already sort of got almost like leapfrogged that innovation by saying, well, if we can do this in the UK where there are 2 million dairy cows, why shouldn't we do it in the US where there are 10 million dairy cows? So a five-fold greater market potential in the US. And it's very grand words, but how are we going to do that then? Because we don't have any infrastructure in the US. But what we do have is we have friends. So we have a close working relationship with one of the leading pharmaceutical companies here in the UK. We also have very close working relationships with breeding companies in the US, and so we believe that we can work with those partners that we have in the UK and piggyback on the infrastructure that our partners have in the US, and therefore that's how we're going to take the Genus cells product forward in the US. So specifically, your question was, how's it going? Well, in terms of, we're having some really good and exciting conversations with those partners, but we've also now commissioned a demonstration of Genus cells at Wisconsin University. So we'll have, because it's all very well to say, look, here's a new technology, we know that it works, but the US farmers would like to see that it works in US conditions. So we'll have those results coming through from Wisconsin University in the back end of this year, by which point we believe that we'll have the infrastructure and the partnerships agreed in order to launch this in the US during 2023. So the answer to your question, how's it going? It's going really well, and it's really exciting.
Very good. Now, I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you the political question about the price of a pint of milk, but we are hearing stories about milk going up in price in supermarkets and elsewhere. Could you just give the viewers a quick explanation what's happening for prices for farmers and those involved in the milk supply chain, and what that might mean?
Yes, so the big costs to a farm outside of the cost of the land. The actual variable costs on a farm are what we call the 3 Fs, which is feed, fuel, and fertilizer. And if you think about it, what are the three things which are massive inflation in feed, in cereals, based on the Ukraine war, and again, fuel is huge inflationary pressures in fuel, and fertilizer. Well, the biggest sort of cost of producing fertilizer is gas, is energy. So guess what's happening with the price of fertilizer? So those three variable costs, really, triple-digit inflationary pressure on farmers' input costs. Now, normally what happens in that environment is the farmer kind of has to suck it up, because the retailers have been able to just sit on the top of the pile and just go, well, it's kind of tough out there, isn't it? Whereas now the inflationary environment is such that those prices just flow through into the end product. So you're seeing from a farming point of view, 12 months ago, the average price being paid to a farmer would be 25 pence a litre. It's now closer to 50 pence a litre. And so the costs that the farmer is enduring, if you like, are being reflected in the price of the product that they're selling, which is great. From our point of view, that's really interesting as well, because as the value of milk goes up, then the jeopardy of making wrong decisions increases, and the reward for making the right decisions increases. And so the information that we're providing dairy farmers, that go back to that idea of precision agriculture, effectively it increases the value of the services that we provide. So yes, the farmers, and yeah, what's happening at the moment? Look out the window; it's very sunny. So what's the biggest stress on farming at the moment? It's drought. The grass isn't growing. So you're seeing an additional cost coming through now in terms of the animals will be inside. They'll be they won't be out grazing. They'll be being fed food that the farmer has effectively stored for the winter. So that's an additional cost that's coming through. But the difference now is that cost will almost certainly be reflected in the price of the milk that they receive from the milk buyer. But from our point of view, the price of milk going up effectively increases the value of the services that we provide.
Andy, thanks for that. It's a really helpful explanation. One final question. Look, you're delivering great results. Historically, you've paid dividends. You seem to be on a growth trajectory. If viewers wanted to get hold of shares in NMR, National Milk Records, how can they go about doing that?
Well, so we're on the Aquis market. One of the key reasons that people find it harder to buy shares in NMR is people don't want to sell them, and it's kind of as simple as that. So the Aquis market works. You can talk to a stockbroker. They need to talk to the market maker, and if you place an order for NMR shares, it will be fulfilled. It might not be fulfilled in 3 nanoseconds through but you can buy. People have bought significant shareholdings in NMR over the last 2 or 3 years just by being a little bit patient and working with the market maker and the brokers.
Andy, thanks for that. That was Andy Warne, Managing Director of National Milk Records, updating us on the fourth quarter results they've just announced, and then taking us a bit of a tour of the milk industry in the UK, and who knows, even into North America. That's it for this edition of Blythe Ray Business News. Thanks for watching.